Hey everyone. Hi, it's Ava Yasintua. And I'm just going to give you a little reading for our entry into the new year, 2026. And as you'll see on the post, I've used the Tarot for Cats deck. And the two cards are the Moon reversed and the Star. I think it's interesting that those cards came up together. They are both images from the night sky. And there's a suggestion here, as we saw with the winter solstice reading, of this being a time of transition. So it, of course, is a big time of transition if you pay attention to the calendar year. Um, we have passed also the dark moon and the new moon, and we are ready for the return of the sun as it grows stronger and stronger as we go into the new year and go through the weeks and months, the early part of the new year, and the sun begins to come back to us. So we are, in general, looking at the emergence of light out of a period of shadow. And shadow can be not necessarily something negative. It can represent things that are being in preparation while we are attending to ourselves, to our returning strength, to caring for ourselves and to those we love, for those we love, and dreaming forward what we would like to see happen in our lives, in the lives of our loved ones, and in our communities and in the world in general. So we have this period of rest, of recuperation, of restoring energy, of holding our energy within, in preparation for times in which it will be very much needed and much will be demanded of us. And so, coming out of that period of darkness into the light means really starting by appreciating the um, the rest and the nurturance that the darkness gives us. Sometimes it's important for us to be in a place of solitude or a place of privacy where there is sacredness in the development of what will become, what will manifest. And so I see that as being a very important thing that we are doing at this point in time. The moon reversed. The moon is already kind of a very kind of mysterious uh, image and symbol. And so when it's reversed, that means that it's really, really deep. The work of honing and developing and caring for is going deep. It's something that is happening within and that will eventually emerge. The star is far more visible. The star is far more out there in the world. It's something that we can see and that we can actually take as a sign to move forward. We follow that star. We follow that North Star. We follow that star of becoming. Um, so this again suggests that that transition between moon reversed, the emergence of the light. The other thing about the moon too is that that's not its light. It's the light of the sun. So it's like a projection screen where we are actually seeing something that does not belong to the moon, but the moon is reflecting it back to us. We don't have the sun in its fullness at this point in time, but we have that sense of it that the moon is giving us. So here is this object of mystery that just came out of being in the darkness. And here it's showing not its own light, but the light that we are hoping for, the light that we are moving towards, the light that is moving towards us. So that there's that sense of something that is a little bit elusive, but is actually possible and that it will eventually emerge. And the star card in tarot, I always like to think of it as being the networking card or the card of influence because usually the image there, not so much the image that we see in the tarot for cats, but the usual image, the traditional image, um, shows a figure that is in the center and is radiating out, is influencing things what I consider to be things along a network or a spider web of influence. And I always think of when the star comes up, I always think of the person or some kind of a force that puts out the energy that makes the light shine elsewhere. So even if it's a person or something that is not um, always visible, not always noted, it is the catalyst for things that happen at a distance and that happen in a way that is ultimately very influential in a grand sense. So, for instance, you could have someone who very quietly behind the scenes is important for the development of things that happen elsewhere and that have consequence that is, just dispersed throughout the environment. So it's a very, very important thing to note. I think it's important for us to think about how even the small local things that we do in order to show up, to support, to be positive, to be creative, to be builders, to be collaborators, can have greater effects beyond just the immediate space around us. The little things that we do, the things that we pay attention to, the ways in which we show up for one another, the kindnesses that we show, um, let us move into 2026 with that energy, not feeling as if it doesn't matter, but it matters greatly. It matters greatly. And in a way, also the moon card being reversed and suggesting that idea of the light that is to be. I'm going to show you uh, um, an image of light, even if it's not my light. It is an image that I am reflecting to you. Um, that is a sign of hope and a sign of possibilities for the future. So keep your mind set on the ways in which you can be that moon that is coming out of a period of darkness and is growing, and also how you can be the star card, the image of the star card, the archetype of the star card, um, bringing even in little small and not terribly recognized ways, publicly recognized ways, some sense of the possibilities that we can build. I think that we have seen a tremendous amount of destruction and discouragement and manipulation and all of those ugly things. And now it's time for us to say, here's what is important. Here's what I value. Here's what I stand for. I'm going to put my foot down and say, here's what I have to offer. I'm going to turn to you and say, hey, maybe this will work for you as well. I've got something good over here that I can share with you. I can share an idea. I can share a resource, whatever it is. The more that we continue to do things like that, the more we fight back in ways that matter. And it may seem, like I said, it may seem in the immediate moment that these are small things and very, very local, very, very specific to who they are, um, affecting. But in reality, you have no idea how these things can take off. What the difference that you can make in a person's life, or the well-being, say, of a project, or an organization that you care about, or a movement that you care about. Your small actions make a difference. And not everything, and I saw this in a subset colleague's post, which came out a little while ago, and I just got around to reading it. It's like not everything has to be monetized, and not everything has to attract likes. Not everything has to be about how is this going to make me look better, but instead it's about just the humanity and the decency of doing the right thing in the moment where it makes the most difference, even if it seems like a tiny thing. Um, that's how we are going to get through this onslaught of awfulness, this onslaught of cruelty, um, criminality. We are going to get through it by being in any given moment the best possible representation of what it means to be a human being. The other thing I want to say is also, hey, you know that expression about you are a spiritual being having a human experience? I think we have to take it that seriously, but also take it to the next step. And the next step is to say, I'm going to live as my spirit self. It's not just something that I intellectualize or it's nice to think about, makes me feel good, whatever, you know. It's really kind of like, yes, you as a physical human being, that's an important role that you're playing, but you're playing it not just as that being. You also have your spiritual self. And the more that you actually live from that, the more you are connected to all sorts of spiritual resource. And I'll leave it at that. I just want you to contemplate the thought that it's not just spirits over here, you're over here as a human being. It's like, how can you live more as spirit? That's the base. And I think as we go into 2026, more of us who do that, the more of us will be able to be in the vanguard of resistance and find our strength in any given moment to meet those challenges. We're going to make a difference in this world. We are. We have to. It's time. Um, and I'm actually rather proud of us for being here. This is taking an enormous amount of courage to endure and to work through, not to be made light of at all. This is very, very difficult work. We have to do it together. We have to do it with a sense of what we really find beautiful and enjoyable and precious about this world, about this life, about one another. And there's so much there. So that's my reading for you for this entry into 2026. I hope we definitely have a peaceful, healthy, abundant, and joyous year. And even if it is a year with struggle, let us do that struggle with integrity, with love, and with kindness for one another. Thank you so much for listening to this reading and also for all of your support in 2025. It's been really a blast to be on Substack, and I look forward to our new year together.